Hey, ever get that slightly shaky feeling before you do something a bit new? Like chatting to someone you haven't met or walking into a busy place?
Oh, definitely. That little voice going, am I going to mess this up?
Exactly. Well, today on our deep dive, we're looking into how introverts, people who recharge more in quiet, can actually build up their confidence.
Yeah, we found some really interesting ideas, not just about thinking confident, but what it actually is.
Right, and some practical steps too. So our mission today, pull out some solid tips for you to help you feel a bit more sure-footed,
Mm.
especially if you're naturally on the quieter side.
Spot on. And it's not about flipping a switch to become someone you're not. It's more about understanding confidence differently.
Okay, so let's break that down. Confidence isn't just willpower, telling yourself, be confident. It's more tied to a feeling of being capable,
Mm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Think about something specific you're good at. Maybe cooking a certain dish, or I don't know, even tying your shoes.
hmm
You probably feel pretty confident doing that. Because you know you can. You've done it. There's security there.
Right. So you've built up that secure feeling for that skill. But people often want this, like general confidence, don't they?
They do, that sort of, I can handle this feeling. But it's super important to remember feeling confident and feeling doubtful. Both are totally normal. Everyone has both.
Yeah, good point. And doubt isn't always the enemy, is it? Like feeling doubtful about your ability to suddenly fly a jumbo jet without training, probably healthy doubt.
Huh, definitely. Useful doubt. The tricky bit is when doubt pops up in situations where you are actually prepared, like a job interview.
Oh, totally. You know your stuff, you have the experience, but that nervous, insecure feeling still arrives.
Yes. And what's key, according to the sources, is realizing that feeling, that insecurity in the interview, it's just a feeling. It's not a fact about your abilities.
So you notice it, but you don't have to, like, obey it.
Exactly. The advice is basically acknowledge the feeling, sure, but then focus on talking about what you do know. Talk about your experiences. Trust that.
Okay, that makes sense. But why do we trust those internal feelings so much? Like, if I feel it, it must be the truth.
Well, partly because they're internal. They feel like they come from some deep authority inside us. One source had this great analogy.
Oh, yeah.
It described the brain, or at least part of it, as like a neurotic, negative friend, always scanning for danger.
Oh, I know that friend.
Right. It's trying to protect us, creating patterns and shortcuts to save energy, which is good for survival. But sometimes it just goes overboard, sees danger everywhere.
Like, maybe you feel a wave of doubt just thinking about buying bread and having a quick chat with the cashier.
Precisely. That feeling might bubble up, but it's probably not based on any real threat in that moment. It's the negative friend overreacting.
So what's the move then? When that little voice starts shouting warnings, there was something about a mantra.
Yeah, it's a simple but powerful idea. Basically, when you hear that internal voice of doubt telling you not to do something, telling you to hold back,
Uh-huh.
you consciously choose to do the opposite.
Ah, okay. So if the voice says don't speak up,
You make yourself speak up, even if it's just a small comment. It's about not letting that automatic negativity dictate your actions. You act despite the feeling.
got it. Now, this isn't about forcing introverts to become like super loud extroverts overnight. That's not the goal.
No, definitely not. But the sources suggested we can learn some helpful behaviors, maybe borrow some approaches from people who are naturally more outgoing.
Okay, like what?
Well, the first big one was about shifting your focus, moving the spotlight outwards, away from yourself.
Outwards. How does that help?
It helps combat that intense self-consciousness introverts sometimes feel, when you're constantly monitoring yourself, replaying conversations.
Oh yeah, the mental replay loop. Did I say that weirdly? Was that awkward?
Exactly. So by deliberately focusing on what's happening around you, what other people are saying, the environment, you give your brain less bandwidth to get stuck on self-critique.
So practically, after a social thing, instead of sitting there analyzing every word,
Do something else. Actively shift your attention. Put on music and really listen. Dive into work.
Yeah.
Read a book. Just break that replay cycle.
the source even mentioned tiny things, didn't it? Like worrying if you waved correctly or if your handshake was limp.
Yeah. And the advice was so blunt. Forget about it. You acted. It's done. Move on.
Easier said than done sometimes, but I get the point. Overthinking has its place. It stops us making some mistakes.
True, but you can get completely stuck in it, right? Which definitely doesn't boost confidence.
No. And that leads to another point, doesn't it? The idea of just being okay with messing up sometimes.
Absolutely crucial. Acting, even imperfectly, is how you build real confidence. Not by waiting until you're perfect, because that never happens.
You try something, maybe it's a bit clumsy, but you did it. You survived.
Exactly. You learn, you adjust, you realize mistakes aren't the end of the world. That experience, that's what builds the feeling of capability.
Okay. Now, something else that often comes up with introverts is perfectionism, trying to get everything just right.
Yeah. That tendency can be strong, setting these incredibly high standards for yourself.
And then feeling like a failure if you don't instantly meet them.
Precisely. It creates unrealistic expectations. Why do you think that link is often there for introverts?
Well, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe because there's often a lot going on internally. More time spent thinking, analyzing your own performance. So the standards get ratcheted up.
That sounds plausible. More internal processing could lead to more self-critique, maybe. And perhaps perfectionism feels like a way to gain control in potentially overwhelming social situations.
Could be. Okay, so we're challenging doubts, we're focusing outward, we're trying not to get hung up on perfection. What else helps build that confidence?
A really big one from the sources is about owning your actions, making your own decisions.
Instead of waiting for permission or for someone else to lead,
Yeah, don't wait. Just decide. When you consistently make choices and act on them, even small ones, you start to trust your own judgment more. That directly feeds confidence.
it's like that movie example you mentioned earlier, right?
Right.
If you've done the research, you know what you want to see.
Just say, hey, I think we should watch this one. Don't hedge. People generally respect that clarity. It reads as confidence.
Okay. And related to not owning decisions, the sources mentioned over-apologizing.
Yes. That tendency may be more common among introverts to say sorry constantly, almost for existing, trying to stay out of the way.
Yeah, oh, sorry when someone bumps into you, that kind of thing.
Exactly. And the point was, doing that too much actually reinforces feelings of uncertainty and indecisiveness. It signals to yourself and others that you're hesitant.
Undermines your own standing, in a way.
It can, yeah. It's about finding that balance.
Then there was that quick anecdote, wasn't there, about the manager's feedback.
Right. Someone doing fantastic work, really competent, but the feedback was partly, you're a bit quiet sometimes.
Which just highlights that perception issue, right?
Yeah.
How sometimes the world seems geared towards louder styles.
It does. And it loops back perfectly to our main theme. Building confidence as an introvert isn't about becoming someone else. It's about finding ways to feel secure and effective as you are in all sorts of situations.
Okay, great. So let's try and summarize the key takeaways for everyone listening.
Yeah.
First big one. Confidence is a feeling, not just a thought, and you can influence it.
And when that doubt pops up, that negative friend, try doing the opposite of what it suggests. Challenge it.
And we can learn from others, focus outward sometimes, like extroverts might, to stop overthinking every little detail. Don't get hung up on mistakes.
Right. Remember, messing up is okay. Actually doing things, even imperfectly, is what builds confidence. Not waiting for perfection.
Own your decisions, make your choices clear, and maybe, just maybe, cut back on saying sorry when it's not needed.
Exactly. These aren't huge, scary changes. They're small, continuous steps, things you can practice.
It's a process, not an overnight fix.
Definitely. It's about building that feeling gradually.
So here's something to think about. What's one small situation, just one, where you usually feel a bit hesitant? Could be anything, saying hi first, sharing an idea in a meeting, anything.
Yeah. Pick one small thing.
Yeah, just think, how could you approach it differently now, remembering the doubt is just a feeling? Maybe try focusing outward. Or just give yourself permission to not be perfect.
Give one of these ideas a little try this week. See how it feels. You might surprise yourself.